Hey, so guess who got a new shirt? Best friend bought it for me because she's awesome. I'm so happy. I'm gonna be getting all edited and crap today at some point, and just generally being really involved in things. I'm just so like floating around right now. I was reading like unpopular Homestuck opinions, and I'm just like, the part of the fandom that I usually hang out in is so not even any of that. And I'm just like, whenever people talk about it, I'm like, I've never met any one of these people ever. Everybody who I had followed, like the 500 plus blogs I followed, were all really great, like GR8. So I don't know what fandom y'all are talking about. I ain't seen it. But then again, I haven't really gone to cons that often. So why don't we focus on the important part, which is actually reading Homestuck. I don't remember. He said something about giving the thing cancer. So, moving right along. More panels. Let's go down here. How do I read this? Right, like I'm going to teach him about computers. Excuse my face getting really, really close here. Is that part's not important? We were just looking at Terezi swooning. At least she got the line over the record right. But then again, she probably couldn't have missed. This one? What did I say? Bang, 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 bang. I have repeatedly made it clear that the fifth wall is to remain off. Well, I know who's angry right now. How is she... She's warping the chair through her head. I refuse to acknowledge this foolish man's self-indulgent rubbish. His frivolous charades have no place in this building, or anywhere in this reality. Am I making myself understood, young lady? Nope, you're not. You're making yourself completely misunderstood. You jerk. Ramsey's broing around? Oh man, this is gonna be great. Terminally capricious, TC began trolling Turntech Godhead TG. It's all your fault. It's all your motherfucking fault! Honk. Okay. You all cracked off the top of this bottle, these fucking clown imposters. They were all spraying out the flagrant motherfucking heresies at me. The flagrant motherfucking heresies, motherfucker. Is what came from their mouths and made me get my sadness on to see it. And my rage on fucking harder. I'm sorry. All my life I believed that the fucking paradise to come would held the most baller, darkest of carnivals to join. And a prophecy! To tell all about a band of rowdy and capricious minstrels steeped in the good harsh whimsy. The mirthful messiahs were foretold to be crashing that fucking pie stand and bringing the holy ruckus. Like a giddy fucking ninja one-wheeling headlong at the hugest fucking horn heap Shangri-La's got to see. I'm talking about the vast honk, you blasphemous motherfucker. What I believed in it was so beautiful. Us and them all mellowing intense. Bumping sounds, tossing back the Fago and soaking up the miracles of faith sponges. The special stardust rained down on our elixir sticky faces like a bunch of fucking fairy powder from religion's face. It was going to be us and motherfucking them. Them and motherfucking us. This is like some trolling shtick, right? This ICP shit. But now, because of you. Because of all you and your fucking outrageousness. You stole up all my miracles away. They're revealing in me how the wicked shit was really kicked. Like some filthy fucking science stuff, who at all times would be ruled unfunny without even getting his fucking trial on. And now I don't know what to think about the spiritual fantasies I had. Honk! Best troll ever. I don't even care if you're really into this stuff or not. It's awesome. What stuff? Like horrorcore, lame clown rap and stuff? Dude, are you an actual juggalo or not? Bro, the word you use isn't nothing fucking real I've heard of. It strikes me as another heretical bastard fucking bastardization of some sacred shit that I take seriously in my pump biscuit. Wait, I guess I took seriously. Do you really not know what I'm talking about? I have the idea that you put into my pan to sit there. That's the fucking paradise planet. Is a fucking joke. And the miracles are fake. Pure fiction. False, fakey, fraudy con jobs from a bunch of unfunny ninja harlequin bullshit artists. I can't even tell if you're trying to troll me with this or if you actually are having some weird emotional problem. Can't it be motherfucking both things? Okay, I'm telling you. You need to watch this video. The song isn't even supposed to be released for another year or something, but I got it from an inside source. It's as hot as it gets. Hang on, let me dig it up. Delirious biz nasty. Oh my god, what's going on here? God's gift to grinds. At Mr. Liftoff, it was the other C-Bone Man. At Fat Nasty Trash 420, nah, bruh, bird bath was fine. You gotta buy new bee bath. Messed up and cool. All you fags, peace out to numfucks. Always outie. Was same collarbone you broke before, dog? Can hunger your bitch, haha. Please enjoy, Mr. Strider. Motherfucking miracles. Hold on, can I actually do that? Turns out it's an actual link to that video. It just took effing stringent chest planted to bird bath. Collar won't snap you. Kinda hungry. Why would you do that? No. Motherfuck no, bro. I'm not looking at any more of your blasphemies. I really just came back on you to motherfucking say. That was sickening noise you did at me is your fault. There's something I did, and what? And you, what's mine? I did something that's motherfucking atrocious to your posse. And your whole crew of jokers get to being kind of mentally motherfucking unstable. In fucking fact, an atrocious business I got to doing. I did that shit to your whole universe as a matter of motherfucking fact. You see? You motherfucking see? I finally got all caught up in what's true by the sweet murder mirth, the bitch and blood circus. I reached deep down and got at where all the harsh whimsies were. Hiding inside of me. In the angriest ways, I found out about my dark ancestral chuckle voodoos within. And then... focused them on the rage you made me have. And I went and made your universe. Terminal. Terminally capricious. And there's the cow eye in his eye. None of that really meant anything, but okay. Also, you have me confused with somebody else. We've never talked. I guarantee I would have remembered you. All that motherfucking matters is I remember you and what you did. I'm just all letting you in on the ways I set the high justice in motion. Made us motherfucking square, you and me. Me and you. That's a cool juggalo guy who I still can't quite tell is ironic about this or not. But, like I said, either way, it's all good. You don't motherfucking believe. You need to get more spirituality into your superstition ghost. Like the motherfucking faith chump that was. This is really hard to read. Like, the black background is just killing me. To fuck up your dreams. Make your worst fears come alive and get up on their haunts in your nap-happy pan. What fears? You motherfucking know, bro. The one that's all gotta be my best fucking friend I got now. My other buddy managed to be having his head chopped off. Oh god. Did my bro put you up to this? I should have guessed he might have a hand in these shitty trolling escapades. Your bro's dead, bro. Couldn't keep my new friend captive no more. Release your nightmares right into my warm fucking embrace. Now just listen to what they whisper through my ear ducts. Jesus. You're fucking insane. I'm all hearing these amazing motherfucking things. I think he'll help me refigure out real reality about the miracles. He'll help me to motherfucking discover the truth of who the messiahs are. The real messiahs, not the false mess of lies. Honk. So, My bro's idiotic ventriloquist dummy is responsible for this schizophrenic bullshit. Is that what you're saying? Motherfuck, yes, bro. What else does he say? He says, in all his funny little voice, that is so very, 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 very quiet that it's time to go motherfucking kill them all. Well, that sounds about right. Better do what he says, dude. Yeah. Here was I to come at you with all these unruly upbraids I got pent up. When you know motherfucking what? I should be getting grateful that you were sharing at me your way ridiculous heresies, bro. I keep saying bro and he's saying brother. The road to the Dark Carnival has never before been paved with louder honks, horns to tread upon. I scared the living motherfucker out of the low but faithless with each step. You're either literally an insane psychopathic murderer or some kind of trolling savant. It's time to block you now, but let's do this again, okay? You fucking know it, bro. I like you. Wouldn't mind taking that pale marshmallow you got as a nug bone off your shoulders. This collection I got started on. And a little strawberry jam to this peanut butter sandwich I'm making between my motherfucking lips. Holy shit. Hey, before you go, how about that we slam a little? They then proceeded to have one of the best rap-offs in the history of Paradox Space. I wouldn't expect anything less. Wow, I really apologize for horrendously shitty reading. I shouldn't be reading Yamsey first thing when I wake up. Okay. And now for Ballet Slick. So is this what universes look like outside of universes? It's cool. Its defective genes probably made it impossible for your session to be successful. Sort of like its reproductive system was damaged. What should be fertile ground for your new universe to grow was replaced by a massive bomb rigged to blow up your whole session. Probably just one of many symptoms of a sick universe. It's not like you actually did anything wrong. You were fighting against the disease that was always inherent in your reality. The one I gave it. But I don't think it's like a normal disease. Not like a cellular mutation that's out of control. The cancer took a specific form, like a complicated series of terrible events rather than a faulty cell division. It was an eventuality in your universe that was inevitable, that we all unwittingly helped make happen. All concentrated through the actions of one hostile agent in the system, with an instinct to destroy everything it hated. And then given the power to do so. Is this what the multiverse looks like? And unlike a normal disease, it wouldn't gradually kill its host from within. The cancer left the body, chased out as if by an immune system. But the problem is, it wasn't any less deadly on the outside, and no less determined to finish the job. Ooh, that's a hauntingly beautiful picture. So I don't know what else it could be. What's waiting for us at the end of the countdown? Jack was expelled from your session somehow. He then methodically destroyed all our planets, Prospect and Durst, and tried to wipe us all out, so that we couldn't do the same thing to him again. But he was always saving his true target for last. The one he hated the most. Jack was the living embodiment of the disease all along. Noir is the cancer. 7, 6, 5. It's him. Anyway, that's the end of how everything's my fault completely, and I'm garbage. Hope you enjoyed it, Jade. Not that you seem to recall this memo even exists. If you see Kanya in Death Bubble Hell, please tell her I'm sorry I let her down. And if you see Solix wandering around too, let him know how ashamed I am. I ditched him like a coward because I heard a honk. And Terzi, if you ever see her, could you give her a message for me? Tell her that... Actually, never mind. I'll probably be able to tell them all that in person soon. Seeing as an idiot in makeup is about to roll over my naked squeal pipette with a one-wheel device. Solix is okay. He's with me right now. Holy shit, you're alive?! Hold on, I really need to change these clothes. Well then. Need some more arrows. Or will I have to suspend your furniture privileges again? Bonk. Flipping out. I see. It's another of your moods. You'll have to work on ironing out this behavior before you meet your true master. He is a far less gracious host than I. Wait, what are you doing? Ah, cool. No, stop that. You render yourself in a more symbolic manner this instant. Oh, they're going to grief? Thank you. Wow, she has the most bizarre, tranquil fury face. Oh, is this what we're doing now? Magics! Maybe I have not been strict enough with your breathing privileges either. This vessel will reach your planet eventually. We can either go home the fast way or the slow way. Your express ticket can only be validated with a display of good manners, miss. Wow. Youth roll. Actual suicide threat. Broom. And there go the electricity privileges. Wow, this is actually kind of disturbing. I think I'm the only one who actually really thinks this is disturbing. I think now would be a good time for another round of re-education regarding her purpose. A little refresher on the prestigious employment opportunity for which she is being groomed. And since you are still my guest, it would please me to tell you this inspiring tale as well. Hi, Miss Paint. It is a tale to remind her of the sacrifice she must make. One serving to remind all of her people of the sacrifice once made by long-forgotten heroes in a discarded reality. It is of this sacrifice the sufferer died, to speak the truth, and it is his tale I will tell you now. Aw, finally! Ancestors! Neat. Once in this very universe, you could say Alternia was home to a peaceful race. Trollkind had never known the corrupting influence in their evolution which led them to perpetual war and violence. That is to say, they had never known me. As was true of the bellicose world we know. There came to be 12 heroes on this peaceful planet. These heroes, too, had 12 ancestors whose fortune were entwined with theirs. These 24 figures of legend were not of this world, but sent from the sky, delivered from a reality not yet conceived. On the eve of their race's extinction, the 12 heroes would begin playing a game. They would make an admirable effort, but they would fail. Their civilization had not prepared them for the rigors of this game, and the ultimate reward would fall shy of their grasp. But their failure was more comprehensive, more systemic, than a result of simple inadequacy so common to young players of this game. Though they could not recognize it for the bad omen it was, this session was not the one in which they had been spawned. Such is the symptom of a subtle glitch affecting certain sessions, an error designed to trigger the unfathomable cascade of misfortune throughout paradox space. This glitch is the calling card of the one I serve. It is the discreet, gentlemanly manner in which he reserves his place in a universe for later visitation. The heroes, understanding their defeat was absolute, sought advice from the mother of all monsters. She offered them a choice. The heroes could either accept their defeat, along with the extinction of their race, and put no others at risk, or she could show them a path to a second chance, to a reality in which the chosen heroes of this race would be strong enough to succeed with ease and claim the reward. This reset would come at the cost of wiping the failed heroes from existence. They would live new lives from scratch, playing different roles in the reset reality with no memory of the game they played or the choice they had made. The heroes chose to accept this bargain and scratch their session. In doing so, they jump-started the reality in which the 24 figures of legend would together be created, and I as well, and then sent back in time to take our places in history. Though I was delivered well before history even began, before the dawning of life on their planet. This time around, I would oversee its development, and thus fulfill the mother's promise of an aggressive, ruthlessly prepared group of heroes, one that would not rest until victory was secured. The young 24 would again be scattered in two groups, 12 modern contemporaries and 12 ancients. But in addition to losing their memories of everything that had happened before the scratch, there was another catch for the failed heroes. In the new reality, they would not serve as the heroes. They would mature to become the ancestors of the 12 they formerly regarded as theirs, and this 12 would be chosen for glory. These children would be the heroes to achieve victory, and have the reward easily within reach. Of course, this promise was fulfilled to the letter, as you have seen. The entire bargain was executed without a single hitch, as those authorized by my master always are. There was, however, one minor anomaly. One of the failed heroes, in his new life as an ancient on this new brutal planet, began to remember. This is his story. This is the story of the Signless. Cool. Few ever knew the sufferer's given name, presuming quite reasonably he had none, and he came to be called the Signless. Unlike his peers distributed elsewhere in history, he was not given a sign at a young age. Alas, there were no signs reserved for one of his mutant blood. His genetic deviation from the social order made him a pariah, forcing him to wander the world alone for many sweeps, concealing the color of his blood to avoid certain execution. But it may also have been due to his mutation that he began to have the visions, spontaneous, lucid imagery of his world in peace before its fall. He would never see the complete picture or fully understand his previous incarnation's role in prompting this fall, or know of my hand in it. But the visions showed him all he needed to see. They held the promise of his people's true potential beneath the ages of conditioned cruelty. They held the spark of revolution. In time, the visions have given purpose to his travels. Oh, gave purpose to his travels. Words. He would preach heretical ideas no one else had dared to entertain, let alone risk discussing. He espoused the virtues of forgiveness, compassion, and equality among all bloodlines. He distributed his message intelligently, careful to preach only to those receptive, never attracting unwelcome attention. But his growing movement could go unnoticed by the authorities for only so long. The Highbloods were livid over the unprecedented heresy, and soon a massive sectarian war followed, spreading across the planet and throughout the galaxy. The conflict was lopsided, of course, with the Highbloods giving full support from the Condess and her Sea Dwellers. Inevitably, the Signless would be captured, and when he was, it was not a matter of whether he would be put to the irons, but how hot they would be if he failed to recant. During his penance, it is said the sufferer's compassion for his people underwent a divine transformation into limitless burning rage. It burned hotter than the irons shackling him to the imperial flogging chut, and redder than the blood soaking his righteous leggings. When he was finally killed, his anger rung through the cosmos with his last breath. This vast expletive was his final sermon, and somewhere encoded in its wavelengths was the truth in his teachings, waiting to reveal itself to any who would inherit his burden. His teachings would also persist through surviving disciples, but in hushed tones. His following would dwindle to an obscure cult facing persecution for centuries. After his execution, the body was burned, leaving only his irons. They cooled in the ash as if his anger itself was subsiding, and his followers appropriated their shapes in defiance of the Highbloods. The symbols became the sign of the Signless, always shown as colorless in the cold iron to conceal the stigma of his hue. This was as much a reminder to his followers to remain hidden as it was of the sufferer's sacrifice, and his rage hidden, like heat in the iron, one day to be reignited by another of his bloodline. The sufferer preached that after he passed, another Signless would come, heralding the end times for their planet. The second Signless would continue his work, and lead his people to glory beyond this realm. The followers kept his teachings alive for ages, even as the uproar surrounding the movement subsided. By modern times, the sufferer's scripture was little more than ancient superstition, all but forgotten. Hardly the anathema of old. But the followers had already made their preparations in the shadows, and when the second Signless finally came, he would have Lucis to raise him and assign to his name. The sufferer required a less conventional upbringing to reach maturity. As a young grub, he landed in the brooding caverns, where he would be expected to face his trials. But due to his mutation, surely no Lucis would select him. No creature sympathetic to his secret had been bred yet. His odds for survival would have been remote, if not for a chance encounter. The Dolorosa belonged to a rare class assigned strictly to serving the mother grub in the caverns, forbidden from visiting the surface. While on an errand, she found the young sufferer in his crater and immediately recognized the child as special, as well as in great danger. For an adult troll to raise a child was unthinkable, but she saw no other hope for him. The Dolorosa abandoned her duties in the caverns and fled to the surface to raise him. In time, she would become the first follower of his teachings, and the first of his inner circle, but not his closest. I feel like I'm the only one who feels like the ancestor stories are just beautiful. Everyone's like, well, they're supposed to be embodying Mary Sue traits, and I'm like, but their story is so compelling to me. It makes me tingly, like goosebumps. They're so cute. Surrounding him on his rise to infamy, and throughout the rebellion, were the most trusted elites among his devoted. The psionic was a mage of unequaled telekinetic ability, who upon hearing the words of the sufferer was inspired to free himself from the sort of slavery typical of his mentally gifted class. But his most devoted of all was his disciple. She listened to every vision he retold, every lesson he preached, and faithfully recorded his scripture. Her ear was open to him always, and in time his heart opened to her. To spread his message throughout the world, they took to the seas in the vessel the legend known as the First Ship. It was said their love went beyond the four quadrants, transcending the grid entirely, whatever that nonsense actually means. The disciple was to be killed along with him. But at the last moment, the executor inexplicably took pity on her and allowed her to escape. She absconded with the leggings, which remained the only physical evidence of his holy suffering. She hid in caves for many sweeps, transcribing all of his scripture from memory on the walls of the blood-stained creatures, and lived the rest of her days in monastic savagery. Her dedication would be critical to the persistence of his message. But the Dolorosa was less fortunate and was sold into slavery. She spent the rest of her life as property of vicious sea-dwellers. As for the psionic, he was enlisted in a far worse, if more prestigious service. He was forced to serve as the helmsman for Her Condescension's imperial battleship. Psychics of his kind were exploited for interstellar travel, and his abilities made her ship the fastest in the fleet by far. She grew so enamored of her helmsman and his power, she would use her touch to extend his lifespan to match her own. Ugh. Battleship Condescension? Together they explored the stars for thousands of years. Due to the speed of her ship, she would personally expand the boundaries of her empire, typically being the first to greet new races before conquering them. Oh. After making first contact, occasions which she generally kept cordial, she would move on to new territory, while a division of her fleet set a course for the unfortunate civilization and proceeded to tear it apart. It could be any of the lethal brigades under her command to receive the orders, be it Threshicutioners, Cavalry Reapers, Laff-Assassins, or Ruffian Annihilators. Each was notoriously cruel in its own way, and each carried out orders with absolute loyalty, because while the Condess could extend a single life on her whim, she could just as casually cut short that of millions. And now I'd like to see a Star Trek crossover, because they said First Contact. Oh, the Condess. Got enough jewelry? If angered, she could simply express her grievance through communion with her ancient Lucis of the Deep, and turn its psychic devastation on her multitudes. The class hierarchy played into her hands politically in this respect. Killing off a haphazard swath of the population, or an entire class, was suitable as a measure of last resort, but mass extermination does not lend itself well to the practical governance. Its looming threat, however, is quite effective, especially while her empire was partitioned neatly into blood castes. She could use her leverage to delegate oppression to the subjugulators, whose unique abilities and exceptional brutality made them natural enforcers. She too would delegate in their governance, exploiting the pride and loyalty of dangerous blue bloods beneath them, and so on down the hemospectrum, until the enslavement of the common caste was inescapable, in spite of their genetic gifts and strength in numbers. As a self-governing body, the land-dwelling portion of her empire was formidable, but her force of sea-dwellers was equally formidable, and the two were kept in check not only with the threat of psychic annihilation, but their mutual hate and distrust. So she never had to feed Glubglib? I mean, once she left the planet in between, like, Pfeffery's birth, like, what did Glubglib do? The only threat to her power was unification through uprising, a possibility made remote once she fully decentralized the race from the homeworld. She scattered all but the children throughout the galaxy after the most recent rebellion, led by the Summoner. Upon doing so, she became so comfortable with her grip on power, she risked venturing deeper into space than ever before to grow her empire. But the more space she put between herself and Glubglib, the more she risked weakening her bond with the monster. The bond she and her successor shared with it exclusively could sway and become strengthened with the younger. Perhaps she grew complacent with the threat successor posed, after such a long history of killing them with ease. Heiresses upon reaching maturity were expected to challenge the Condesce for the throne. It was not merely expected of them by their people, but demanded by their shared lusus. I like to think of her as the pet I gave to their race at the dawning of their species evolution. Like a sentient's warning gift. Again, it's just the sort of thing a good host does. This is true.